It's something that we should all really take into consideration and learn that we live in a world whereby people can try to cover up their tracks of something that they really did or they are guilty of doing by trying to defame the character of another individual. People can also just want to defame the character of an individual because they are jealous, because maybe they feel the person has something that they do not have, or they just hate the person. And when we are working with Christ, we cannot hate people, we cannot hate someone. Maybe the person that we would have hate for is the devil because his own is destruction, right? And the Lord even tells us that we should pray for our enemies because they themselves do not even realize how much of a harm they are doing to themselves by trying to attack innocent people, by trying to afflict God's people, and so on and so forth, right? So this is it. So the people that tried to defame the character of God's people, God's chosens, their true identity is going to be exposed. The kind of hearts and the kind of minds that they have is going to be exposed, because when everyone gets to realize that the individual or you are innocent of what they had always accused you of doing, right? Everyone is automatically, all the people that were lured into believing things that were not true about you would then see how wicked and evil the individual is. So God literally uses his chosen to expose and reveal the hearts of individual, the thoughts of individual, the feelings of individual. And this is going to be like a sword piercing the hearts of many, because it's like, okay, we've tried to cover up the tracks of how bad we are by trying to defame the character of this individual, by trying to cover up with lies, by trying to imprint and look for false stories, and try to some of these people even had to use enchantment spells. They had to do humiliation spells and so on and so forth to like God's people, so that when they try to humiliate them publicly, everyone is going to believe by the defamation of character, by the false stories and so on and so forth, so that people will believe and join in the hate train. But when the truth comes out, once the veil is lifted, all the people that were manipulated into joining the hate train, that were another form of manipulation is also witchcraft. Witchcraft is an art of manipulation, right? That they had to use witchcraft to enchant and buy the minds of these people. But mind you, anyone that also believes certain things about you already has a way that they feel about you. They have a way that there's a way that they feel about you. They might already not like you. So when stories like that get to them, it's easy for them to believe it because they feel a way about you. So, but once, this is just an example. For example, someone is trying to paint you as an employee in a company as an embezzler, as a thief, right? And actually they may be the actual thieves, but because your presence there makes stealing for them difficult, they want to find a way to kick you out of that place. So they try to cause setups, they try to buy false stories, and try to find a way to get people who are working with you in the same department to believe the story that they had to cook up about you. And truth is, some people would also believe and buy into the thing that the individual said, and then that individual would have a way to continue embezzling and stealing, and probably even steal the position that rightfully belongs to you, right? So like this, like the best example I could literally get. But once the truth comes out about who the Lord's chosen is, I also have to add this as an example, like as an analogy, right? It's like while the whole thing was going on, the whole falsifying of cooking up of stories and trying to leave signs and traces of the fact that the person was a thief and they were not. Maybe the person who was behind the whole atrocity that wanted to kick the person out, or wanted to, let's use you out of the workplace, had to like go and steal documents from the boss's office and try to put them in the person's desk so that it would look like the person had been going through the boss's items. And then later on, maybe you are kicked out from the job site, god forbid, I'm just using this as an example, right? Like the person is kicked out from the job site, and then later on maybe the boss had traveled at the time all this was happening, so maybe the other associates had to just sack the individual from there. Then later on, when the boss gets back, he decides to maybe the boss feels suspicious about everything because he trusts you and he knows that you wouldn't do something like that. So it would be kind of weird to the boss. So not knowing there had been a CCTV camera the whole time, in the job sites, that no one really even, it was like a secret camera. So like the secret camera would automatically expose the person that had been behind the atrocity the whole time. But the thing is, not only is that going to expose the individual that did it as a bad person, that they have a bad heart, that they are a bad person, that one thing about narcissists is that they always narcissists can do the scariest of things just to get back at a person that they don't like, and they can gather up a whole community to go against an individual. And even the way they would act, they can even act like the victim just to be able to buy the attention of others. And so right after everything like that happens, everyone at the job site is going to, not only are the ones that this person tried to deceive, feel bad for what they did to you, but everyone is going to see how bad of a person that person is, right? Something of that sort. I just had to use this analogy to explain it, right? Just had to use this analogy, explain it. And this can even be people that people would hold in high esteem, like maybe a leader or someone with a high position in a job site or at a place, an organization, right? And this person may be a narcissist, and your presence may annoy the person, right? Because you are God's chosen, your presence would irritate demons in a lot of people. So once the truth comes out, everyone is going to be like, we respected you, we never really thought you could do something like that. And that is going to leave a lot of people, like the people who have been doing these things, in a state of shame and embarrassment, right? And even the people that had to join in the hate train too, people are going to begin to raise eyebrows at them, like, what did this person ever do to you for you to think that they could do this, for you to think or try to join in a hate train to embarrass them, to humiliate them, and so on and so forth. I hope so I'll see you on the next word.